Abraham Lincoln. Oh,
Abraham
and
Lincoln, George Washington.
yeah,
Where are you from?
I have Bjork.
Who?
Bjork.
Bjork?
Bjork.
Sheesh. So where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil?
Yeah.
Are you okay? So are you on here to talk about politics?
I mean, sure.
American politics or like Brazil politics?
I mean, whatever. I like American politics too, even though I'm not like that well educated in it. But I'm sure.
Yeah. So would you consider yourself a Trump or Biden supporter?
Kind of neither, but more leaning towards Biden.
Why so?
I do. I mean, I'm not like I didn't. I don't know much about him, but from what I've seen, like what I've read about him, I feel like his politics and what he's thinking and the what
Here,
he has.
what's some key things you like about Biden that you don't like about Trump?
I feel like the being a child predator. I feel like that is kind of a turn off for me.
Who's a child predator?
Trump.
How is he a child predator?
I mean, have you not seen the accounts and all of that
Are
and
you
the
talking about? Are
report?
you talking about accusations?
Yeah,
They're accusations, and they all
I
got
mean,
dropped. They know he was brought to court for all of those accusations. You know that, right? And he was
yeah.
found not guilty.
I mean,
That
okay,
means he's innocent.
sure, valid, valid. But also, I find like what um, I think Trump's actions towards immigration is not like what I feel it's best. And I do like
What do you
how
think he's doing wrong about immigration?
I feel like all of like the comments he made about Muslims were very disrespectful and very like just stupid in general. Also, the time he tweeted a white supremacist video, that was kind of weird. Also, like the way that he blocks people from Twitter, that I don't think politics are allowed to do that. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if Biden does it too. I just don't think.
He's allowed to do that. It's a free country. He can block whoever he wants.
No, I don't. That's not it. Because from what I've read, and maybe that's just a Brazil thing,
Here, hold on.
uh, politicians shouldn't like block their social media because uh, if they're posting about like how they want to change the country, everyone should be allowed to see that information. But
So
I don't know if that.
you think what he shouldn't be able to block people?
No, I don't think politicians. I don't know if it's like. I don't think it's a law. I don't know, but I've read that. I think it's just a Brazil thing. I may be mistaken. But what I was trying to say is, I like what Biden is trying to do for Brazil. I think that's pretty cool too. Um, and some years ago, how like he sent the information that the U.S. government was funding the military dictator. Is that how you say it? Sorry, a
What
cop
is it?
passing by.
What does that sound mean? Is that a cop car?
That's yeah. I don't think it was like a cop. It was more like a
Ambulance?
um, not like a police, but like we have people that like look around neighborhoods to make sure everything's okay. Rather than
Like
like
neighborhood
cops.
watch, security guards?
Yeah, basically.
So, all right. Tell me if this is good or bad. Biden has caused gas prices to go up by eliminating the um, single most highest gas producing job and system in America. Is that good or bad?
I feel like um, looking just at that information, I feel like I don't know like the whole context of what you're talking about.
Okay, so basically, you know how he has a whole eco-friendly plan?
Yeah.
He lied about what he said he was going to do. He said he
Okay.
wasn't going to ban fracking, and then he banned fracking. Well, a part of his eco-friendly plan, he got rid of this gas pipeline. And while getting rid of that pipeline, not only did he lose jobs, he caused gas prices to go through the roof. In my area, under Trump, gas prices were about $2, 2 USD. They're on the verge of being 4 now. And it's worse in places like California and Florida and New York. And there's gas shortages now.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's pretty bad. I haven't like seen um again, I haven't like seen the whole context of it. I don't know like why, but from what you said, that is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Though gas in itself is not a good option for like um using for like energy and stuff
Yes.
like that. But that is not something that you can easily just like abolish and change it to something else.
Now, is this bad or good?
Bad,
All
I
right.
guess.
Cool. Um, Now, is this next thing I'm going to talk about bad or good? Do you know about the Israel versus Palestine conflict?
Yes.
How Palestine has been ruthlessly bombing Jerusalem for these past week or two?
I wouldn't phrase it that way, but yeah.
1,500 missiles isn't okay. Um, so, Biden specifically told the Israeli prime minister to not fire back, even though Israel has been attacked by Lebanon, Syria, and Hamas. And he's
I
being
feel like
told that he should not attack back and that he cannot attack back. Is that
oh
good or
god.
bad that you're telling another country that it cannot
That is
defend itself?
I mean, that is actually good in that
How is
instance.
that good? Okay, so how would you feel if Brazil got attacked by Colombia, Venezuela, and Argentina at the same time? And then
That already
and
happened.
then Biden came to your president and he was like, I
I
know this
mean,
looks
are we
bad.
oppressing
I know
them?
this looks bad. I know
Are
lives are
we
being lost, but you cannot attack back.
But like, are we ruthlessly killing them for just being Palestinians? Are we like beating them in the streets? Are we like
But this
terror?
is war. They should not be able to be attacked and not be able to
But it
fight
doesn't
back.
have to be war.
1,500 bombs were dropped by
Also,
Hamas in
Israel
one
isn't
day.
their
One
land.
day, Hamas dropped 1,500 bombs. The next day, Lebanon sent 3 bombs. And then 2 days later, Syria sent 3 bombs. Okay? And
Okay,
there are still, and you know what Hamas is doing? He
what?
is putting shrapnel and missiles and hitting civilian locations to maximize civilian casualties. He is not aiming to take out the Israeli government. He is not aiming to take out Israeli soldiers. He is
I mean,
specifically putting shrapnel
I
and
don't think.
bombs. He's putting pieces of metal and stray wood and bombs and hitting civilian locations to maximize civilian deaths. No other country does that.
I again, I feel like you have
That's almost a war crime. That is a war crime.
yeah, I guess, but like
And then
you
Israel
can
is
just
supposed to
like
let this happen to their citizens and not do
you have
anything
to
about
look
it.
at both sides. You're only looking at
I am looking at both
Israel.
sides.
No, you're
I know.
not. You're
Guess
not.
what? Guess what? Guess what? No, it's common sense. Okay, Israel moved into the West Bank.
Yes.
You know what Palestine did?
What?
They started attacking them. Right?
Well, yeah, because
Israel is
that
not supposed to attack back. It's war. No matter who's in the wrong or right, if you're getting
I
attacked, you
mean,
have the
but
right to
like
defend your country and your people.
I feel
And
like
guess what? It's not the Israeli government being held accountable. Hamas is killing the Israeli civilians.
I mean like that,
That's
but
bad. Yeah,
the there
I should. Okay, okay. So
there's not
You're
really
from Brazil. If
yes.
Argentina, Venezuela, and Colombia started bombing your civilians in your country, and you were told you can't do anything, you can't fight back,
But that's not the
does
same
that just mean
case.
does that just
That's not
mean
the same situation. We
okay,
didn't
okay,
move.
okay. This put it this way.
Wait, let me
Brazil,
just
okay, put it this way. Brazil stole some of Colombia's territory, some of Venezuela's territory, okay? They killed some of their people. But
Not some.
if Venezuela hit civilian cities and civilian targets 1,500 times with bombs packed with shrapnel, intentionally trying to kill citizens, and Biden came over to Brazil and said to your president, hey, you can't fight back. Even though you initiated the attack and they're fighting back, you can't fight no
Well,
more. Your civilians are being killed. They're not trying to kill you, they're trying to kill your civilians. They're trying to kill your civilians, but no, you cannot fight back.
I don't feel like I'm prepared enough to make arguments against you. I'm really sorry. I find the issues really important, but I don't feel like I have the vocabulary or the arguments to um, talk back. If we can
Well,
like
I just put
agree.
it in the same situation for you.
No, yes, I
You
understand.
shouldn't be able to have to fight back with it. That's a very simple argument. If your citizens are being killed by another government, you should be able to fight back and protect your civilians. Is that not?
I I really don't. Wait, let me try to explain what I want to say. First of all, like it's not that simple.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. But
Wait, let me finish.
simply,
Let me
if okay,
finish.
simply, if a country
I
did
can't argue with you
something,
if you keep interrupting
simply if
me.
a country did something wrong, and their government and their soldiers are not being held in the wrong and being attacked, but instead the civilian innocent lives are being attacked and being lost. You think they should not be able to defend their civilians?
I
Because
do
Biden came
feel
in
like
and said, hey, don't do anything?
Israel is way like Israel has way too much power, like way more power
Okay, so
than.
because you live in Israel and your country has power,
No, that's
you're just
not.
allowed to be killed?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, um, oh God, how can I say this in English? Fuck. What I'm saying is, um, Israel has so much more army power than the other countries. That's what I'm saying. And
Uh-huh.
I do feel like, I don't know if like they should like fight back. I do feel like there is more to the situation than just that.
Okay,
And
so because a
it is,
country is more powerful, they're not supposed to be able to fight.
no, that's not what I'm saying at
That's
all.
literally I don't know if you're messing up because you don't English isn't your first language, but that's literally what you just said. Because Israel is strong enough they shouldn't be able to
No, I
attack
said
them.
that that is a fact. I'm not saying that that is why they shouldn't. I do feel like the problem is more complicated than just, oh, I sold some of your land and now you're killing us. And we killed some of your people. No, it's
Okay,
not
so
just that. The
let
Palestinians
me
are being
put this in the
systematically
simplest
oppressed.
way I can.
It's
Israel
literally an apartheid there.
Israel moved into the West Bank and took land.
Oh yeah, and all the
Hamas bombed Israel 1,500 times. Lebanon bombed Israel 5 times. Syria bombed Israel 3 times. Not the Israeli government, the civilians. The
no,
civilians. So if you were a leader of a country and your civilians were getting killed because of your
but that's
mistakes
not the
and
whole
no, let me finish. And
You already said
your civilian, let me finish. And your civilians are getting attacked and you can't do anything about it because Biden came to your country and said, "Hey, don't attack back, man. Don't attack back." You think it's okay just because
no,
Israel is
wait.
stronger than the other nations in the area, they
That
should
is
not be able
not
to fight back after their civilians are
No,
getting
wait.
bombed and
Can
killed.
I explain what I was trying to say?
Well, don't try to explain while I'm already talking.
No, it's not. Wait. What I'm saying is that Israel has more army power than everything okay?
Because it's Pride Month. All right, what'd you say?
I'm saying that what I say about Israel being having a lot more army power than those other countries, that is a fact. I'm not saying that that is why they shouldn't do it. Okay, can we like you understand that? I'm saying that that's not why they shouldn't, but that is something. Also, what I'm trying to say is the what you're saying is not the whole problem. There is more than just
Okay.
what you said.
Okay, so you think because of a government's errors. Okay, so basically, in case you didn't know, this is the world, this is warfare. Okay? Israel killed Palestinian civilians.
Yes,
Palestine attacked back. And Palestine is now killing Israel civilians, right?
yes.
So, because Israel killed Palestine civilians first, you think Israel should not be able to defend their citizens.
No,
Okay,
what I'm
so
trying to say,
you're just gonna
I
keep repeating that it's a bigger issue.
because it is, it is.
How
It's
okay,
not
so
just
you
that.
think okay, so because okay, so a country attacked, okay?
From
They committed war crimes, they killed your civilians, they attacked you. And now that country is now killing your civilians.
well, then I do. What I'm saying is, I do think Israel should fight back, but I also think it is a bigger problem than what you're saying. That's all that I'm
So Israel
think
should be
about
able
it.
to fight back.
Yes,
You didn't say that in the beginning. That's why I got into this conversation.
because I was trying to explain it,
No, you weren't trying to say it
but
was a bigger problem. You were just saying that
because it is a
you
bigger
know
problem.
you said that it was a good thing and that they should not fight back. That Biden did a good thing by telling them to stop. That's literally what you
Not
said.
really. Not really.
But that's what you said.
I'm trying to explain what I think about the matter. I do feel like from what you explained, uh, I do feel like yeah, sure, Israel should be able to fight back, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that the problem in itself is really complicated and it's not that just like simple to. And also, if Israel fights back, how is it like all gonna end? Like, you know,
If
where is it
Israel
gonna
fights
go
back,
after
they're
that?
gonna win.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big of a problem too.
Not really.
Why not?
It's warfare.
But I don't think it's just that. Yeah,
Israel could fight Lebanon, Syria, and
yeah.
Palestine at the same
So
time and still win.
yeah, so you agree that from like my original point that Israel has more army power than those other countries.
Israel does, and I think if
I
if there was a war that started,
yes,
Israel should
it will
finish it.
probably win. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, what I also think is, as again, I repeated myself way too many times, and I apologize for that.
It's a
I
bigger
do feel like,
issue.
yeah, and Palestinians are being systematically oppressed in Israel. I don't know.
You know who's being systematically oppressed in Palestine? Women and gay people. You know who
I
isn't
mean,
being systematically oppressed in Israel?
why am I not comparing
Gay
that?
people and women. If Palestine were to become a free country, it would be a whole scramble in the UN because of how many human right violations they are committing. But since Palestine isn't really considered a real country now, because it doesn't have enough support that it needs to become a real country, they can't really do anything about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it is
yeah.
still the suppression of women in the LGBTQ community, which those things are not suppressed in Israel. Muslims aren't suppressed in Israel. Gay people aren't oppressed in Israel. Women aren't oppressed in Israel.
Yeah, I guess. I do get what you're saying. Um,
I don't think a country like that should be able to to gain recognition and independence.
I do feel like, but like,
If you're still not far enough in the world where you're at least not allowing women the right to pick for themselves, I think you shouldn't be able to. That you shouldn't be able to become a country.
to be honest,
I mean the like the gay part, yeah. Other countries are like that, but if you're still not beyond the point where you're still suppressing women, that like no, that's
but
not
like,
okay for a country.
Brazil oppresses women, the United States oppresses women. Just because there is oppression doesn't mean that the country shouldn't be allowing them
Systematically, no,
defended.
it is not. Not in the United States.
Yes, it is.
How so? You're gonna say the pay gap? You gonna say the pay gap, which is not proven?
No, I'm not gonna say the pay gap. To be honest, I don't even like understand it very well. I don't know why. But
Okay,
anyway,
so
can I use
I
Brazil
want
as an
you to
example?
find me a law in the United States that oppresses women, like how it does in Palestine, where there's a law where women cannot vote and must women must submit to their husbands, and women must submit to any male overseer, whether that be their
Is that
boss,
all?
their
Can I
father,
just
their
check?
brother. I can send you a link of all about here.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a link. It talks about everything going on in Palestine.
Again, I really didn't come prepared to this conversation. I'm just
Here.
kind of scattering, trying to bring my opinions. And
It talks about the suppression of children, the suppression of women, and the suppression of Jewish people in Palestine. But it's a pretty big article.
yeah, yeah, I do. To be honest, I do get what you're saying. Um, I've never heard about this site. I do feel like I should just check up on them.
You can do your own individual research.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I was just checking the source because I haven't like heard of it.
You're good.
But yeah, I do get what you're saying. I just don't know if that's a good enough argument to be like, no, they shouldn't be allowed to be
Well,
independent.
that isn't my entire argument. I also don't think such a racist country. I also don't think a country led by a terrorist leader should be set free.
Well, I guess. I mean, I
Also,
could use Brazil
I
as an
don't think
example, but
Palestine
I don't feel like.
would ever be allowed to actually become a country in the UN because of the war crimes they're already committing, and they're not even a country yet.
Yeah,
And
I guess
until
that makes
Hamas
sense.
gets replaced, Israel will not become. I mean, Palestine will not become a country.
Okay, that makes sense. I do feel like um, I was, to be honest, kind of hard to keep up with everything that's happening when like your own country has its own problems.
Yeah. No, I got you.
I've seen like overall this whole Palestine and Israel fight, but I was kind of like more focused in what was happening in Brazil. If you didn't know, probably you didn't. In Brazil, we had like last Sunday, I think, like huge manifestation all over Brazil against our president Bolsonaro, which I was there and police took action and like not to get into much detail. There was a guy in Recife, which is a city in more of the northern Brazil, that lost his eye because of police brutality. And I think it's just like a whole other thing that is important. There is not many people talking about it outside of Brazil, there was like a few people in Berlin that were talking about it, but those were Brazilian immigrants, and I just think Brazil has so many problems that people just don't really look into. Like there was the Amazon fire, but people forgot about it like really quickly. So yeah, I don't think I was prepared for this whole argument. I am sorry. I do think
You're fine.
your points were really interesting. I'm going to read the article you sent me, and I'm going to like think about how I position myself in this whole thing.
All right. By the way, I have a YouTube channel if you want to check it out.
Sure,
It's I basically just do political stuff.
I will check it
Here,
out.
I'll just send you a link to it.
Sure.
Just pull it up here. So do you not? There you go.
All right, thank you. I will look at it. Um,
All right. Have a wonderful day.
you too.